Hey, how's your heart today? We all grew up with stories, and one of the most unforgettable ones was about Pinocchio, the little wooden boy whose nose grew longer every time he lied. It was funny, a bit scary, and deeply symbolic. For many kids, it planted the idea that dishonesty will always show itself, no matter how hard we try to hide it. I remember believing it too, that if I lied, my nose would stretch out like a tree branch, and everyone would know. But here's the twist. Science has discovered something very different. The science behind lies. In 2019, Dr. Emilio Gomez Millan and his team at the University of Granada, Spain, ran a fascinating experiment. They asked 60 volunteers to call friends or family and lie for about 3 to 4 minutes. Meanwhile, they were monitored with sensitive infrared cameras. The results. When people lied, the temperature at the tip of the nose dropped by 1.2 degrees Celsius, and the temperature on the forehead increased by 1.5 degrees Celsius. Why? Because lying makes the brain work harder, heating up the forehead. At the same time, stress and anxiety cause blood vessels in the nose to contract, making it colder and slightly shrink. So lying doesn't make your nose grow, it makes it shrink. But the change is so tiny, the human eye can't see it. That's probably why the author of Pinocchio chose growth instead of shrinking. A shorter nose is invisible, but a nose stretching out, that image stays with you. Why the nose? Symbols matter in stories, and the nose sits at the very center of the face. You can't hide it behind words or behind a smile. So when Pinocchio lies, his nose grows instantly, exposing him in the most public way possible. The lesson is clear. Dishonesty is never fully hidden. Even if you can't see it like in a fairy tale, it still leaves marks, suspicion, broken trust, that restless feeling in your chest. Why do we lie? As adults, we know lying is more complicated than in children's books. We lie for selfish reasons. We lie to protect. We lie to escape punishment or to gain an advantage. And sometimes, we lie to protect someone else's feelings. Here are the forms of lying we see every day. Self-serving lies, cheating on exams, exaggerating resumes, misleading ads, defensive lies, denying mistakes out of fear, white lies, telling a friend their cooking is good, even if it's not. Self-deception, convincing yourself you're fine when you're not. Even in Pinocchio's story, the first lie wasn't his. It came from his father Geppetto. He sold his coat to buy books, but told Pinocchio he was just too hot. A small lie, born out of love. Half-truths, the subtle form of lying. Not all deception is direct. Sometimes it's just half the truth. In his book Lying 2013, author Sam Harris writes, "The line between lying and misleading is blurry. We can even deceive with the truth." He gave an example. Standing outside the White House, making a phone call, and saying, "I'm calling from the White House." Technically true, but designed to mislead. So is that the truth? Not really. Is it a lie? Not fully. A half loaf of bread can still feed you, but half the truth, when used to deceive, stops being truth at all. And in today's world, half-truths are everywhere. Edit to news clips, cropped screenshots, filtered images. They may not look like lies, but they manipulate perception just as much. Are white lies harmless? It's easy to believe in harmless lies, but even white lies carry risks. In Pinocchio, the fairy warns him, dishonesty of any kind leads to trouble. One lie creates the need for another, and soon, you're stuck in a web you can't escape. Writers Aesop and Iris from ancient Greece said the same. If you can avoid lying, you should. Because lies don't just deceive others. They harm the liar too. Honesty doesn't mean full exposure. Here's something important. Being honest doesn't mean telling everything. You are allowed to keep privacy. If someone asks how much money you have in your bank account, Saying I'd rather keep that private is not a lie, it's the truth. With boundaries, honesty is not about oversharing. It's about not deceiving. It's about clarity, not confession. Pinocchio's journey, our journey. Pinocchio started as a wooden puppet, playful, reckless, dishonest. But by the end, he became a real boy, not by magic, but by growth. By learning responsibility, correcting mistakes, wanting to become better. That's our path too. We move from innocence to awareness, from hiding to facing, from selfishness to kindness. Yes, lies may give short-term advantage, but truth, however difficult, gives long-term peace of mind. The deeper lesson, Pinocchio's long nose reminds us, every lie leaves a trace, not always on your face, but on your reputation, on your relationships, on your conscience. In today's world of polished feeds and curated images, honesty is rare and precious. Not brutal honesty, not oversharing, just the kind that says, I will not mislead you. Living in truth is not only a responsibility to others, it is freedom for yourself. It's what it means to awake your power, to choose authenticity, even when deception looks easier. This is Mind Light, where we explore truths that awaken your inner strength. If this message resonates, hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. Let's walk this path of clarity together.